And thinking about this, I thought about a friend of mine. He's a businessman here in our church, amazing guy, godly man, real successful businessman. I went to his office, and beautiful office, great view, amazing gallery area kind of thing. And so he showed me what was the most precious thing in his office to him. And it was this book right here. It's this big book. And what this book is he's a pastor's son. This is his father's sermons, 200 of his father's sermons bound together in a book. His dad preached 47 years before retiring, typically in smaller churches throughout Louisiana. And his wife, who's now in heaven at this time, got this book and bound it for him to his surprise, and on Christmas gave this to him years ago as the bound sermons of his father's messages. Do you hear spiritual heritage in that? Some of you are like, wow, that's what we should do with my dad's sermons one day. Some of you are like, my dad, I don't know if he's heard a sermon. This is what she wrote on the cover of the book right here, written to our fellow church member friend. I dedicate this special book to my husband with much love and admiration. Thank you for the godly guidance, example, and devoted love you have given our family. So here's the wife thanking the husband for the godliness that he's shown to the family. So I've got the sermons from the dad being influenced into the son, that the wife is thanking for the influence into the family. Do you see the Christian heritage here? Do you see the godly line that's being formed here? When I asked my friend if I could borrow this book, he said this is his quote, I often will sit and read through one of his sermons. I can still hear his voice speaking God's word. Isn't that beautiful? And then he said, just this past Thursday, my granddaughter was looking through the book and realizing that these were the words of her great-grandfather. Let me show you a picture. I flipped through, I didn't read every sermon, but I flipped through every single page of this and looked at it. Let me show you just the pages, just a handwritten, good old sermon there. Amazing. Do you see this being written? He's in heaven now, been there for years. These sermons being written in the pastor's study, preached in the pastor's small little church, then bound up by a wife to say thank you to the husband for his godly heritage that he's giving to his children. So then last week, didn't know I was going to ask for this, just so happened, last week, his granddaughter is reading these sermons of her great-grandfather. Oh, Eunice. Oh, Lois. Do you know your impact as grandparents? Do you know your impact as parents? Do you know your impact as spiritual fathers and mothers? I want to read you just one little section that really connects with what we're going to into the next point. Let me read you one section out of this. It's a sermon from Luke chapter 22. It was called His Will, Not Mine. And he begins the intro, says, I want to speak to you this morning about knowing and doing the will of God. Then we get about halfway through the sermon, he says this, you are unique. You are different from everyone else who has ever lived. God made you that way. Someone said, and I believe it, God didn't waste time making duplicates. He made you an individual, mind, body, and soul. So God's will for you is to realize the unique potential which He planted within you. God's will is that your practice might match up with your potential. And then it goes on and on. That'll preach. So here we have this as a spiritual legacy in our very church. And so I just tell you, grandparents like Lois, God can use you greatly. Moms, don't ever underestimate your influence in the home. God can use you greatly. Those that have father wounds, ask God to bring you a Paul spiritually that will make a difference in your life. Because when we talk about these things, these can be painful things for many, many people. And let the legacy then form in you so that you're able to leave a legacy in others. Hey, thanks for watching. To find out more about Houston's First, you can subscribe to our channel or you can go to houstonsfirst.org.